I'm back.
Every time I walk out that door, every time I interact with anybody new, my purpose is to help change.
It's time to celebrate life. If you know that you're in charge of your life, it's time to stand up. If you know you want better for your life, it's time to stand up. If you know that you have what it takes to be in charge of your life, it's time to stand up. If you know that you are not just trying to be good for you, but for those around you, it's time to stand up. As a matter of fact, look to the person to your left and tell them you are enough.
I want to help you change, and just like you change, every time I interact with somebody, they help me change. It's no different than if I met an individual and they had 4 quarters and they needed change, or if I had $1 and they had 4 quarters, I need to change. We can swap the money. The value is still the same. They still got $1, I still got $1, but we both exchanged something, and it was a change for both of us. So every time I walk out that door, I inspire to help change lives just as much as lives have changed me.
Y'all been listening to the wrong people, watching the wrong things all your life, and it's time to put to rest all those negative thoughts, because you are enough. It's time to put to rest that self-doubt, because you are enough. It is time to get rid of that negative energy, because you are enough. It is time to stop listening to people that don't have the best interests of you in your life, because you are enough. So let's have a moment of silence. I want everybody to understand that you are the person that's in charge of your life. Everything that you have inside of you to be who you're supposed to be in life. You have a destiny, and that destiny can only be accomplished through you, by you, and only you, with the help of God. When you realize that you are the person you are, because you're not a carbon copy, there's only one you. They try to put you in a box. Society tries to put you in a box, but you can't be in a box. How can you be in a box when there's only one you? But then they tell you, think outside the box. What I'm trying to get you to understand is there is no box.
I want to pass on the things that I have to the generations behind me. By the time it's time for me to get called home and go to the grave, I want to be empty. I believe in bankrupting the cemetery, so I can't take this knowledge with me, because the cemetery is already full of brilliant ideas and unwritten books and innovative ideas. I can't take this with me, so I'm trying to leave it all here as Billy Graham Jr. to the next generation so somebody else can carry it on.
What's up, and welcome back. Man, have I missed y'all. Man, first of all, I want to just say thank y'all for tuning in, because it's a blessing just to be able to talk to y'all. But man, when I say I was sitting here and I was like, man, I can't wait to talk to this next guest. Now, don't get me wrong. You have seen her before. If you haven't and you're just now tuning in first time, welcome. But if you need to go back and check her, episode 39 and episode 7, because she not only dropped facts and gave us different things to live a better life, she kept giving us more and more content of how to grow our life, eat better, live better, communicate better. So now I'm going to bring her on, because we're going to do something a little bit different today that you've never had happen. And it was just something that just touched me to say, hey, with the world we're living in today, how can somebody like this individual help us live a better life? So I'm not going to hold you up anymore. I'm not going to make you wait any longer so we can get this information. I'm going to do my best to pick her mind, because she has some brilliant ideas and brilliant strategies. So I'm going to bring you on the one, the only, the amazing Miss Raven Thizzle.
Hi.
What's going on? How you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you so much for having me back.
No. Thank you for taking the time to come back. And just a quick snippet, bring it all together for those that are just now tuning in. This is their first time. Can you tell everybody, who is Raven?
Wow. Okay. Well, first and foremost, I am an authentic being authentic. So what you see is what you get every day, including tonight on this show. I am a lover of life. I'm somebody who is open to all types of different experiences. I love people. I love learning about people, and I have met Billy and his wife when I was living overseas. I have since been divorced, lost everything, got everything back, gave everything up, went back and got it, had 2 kids. Like, my journey has been so interesting and fun. It's been full of ups and downs. It's been full of learnings, mostly ups. And I'm excited to be here tonight to share just more of whatever you want.
So it's not necessarily what I want. It's the stuff that you have, the knowledge, the strategies, just your way of thinking. It's not like what I want. It's what the world needs.
Okay.
And only like me, I get to catch the snippets of it because I know you. I follow you on social media. Like I follow you on especially TikTok. I love the TikToks because, matter of fact, let's just start right there. Let's start there because that's what I really love because you give people so many nuggets. And for those that don't follow you or don't know, those little nuggets will cover like eating well, communicating, living a better life, relationships. So unlike other episodes that we've done on this podcast, I want to go where we deep dive into those nuggets and those jewels that you have that you get to share with everybody. But I want you to share them with us today. And it doesn't have to be in no particular order. But like, for example, the one that popped in my mind is we talk about the way we eat. Like I'm one of those, I'm conscious. I try to read the back of labels and everything. But with so much stuff that these big companies are doing today, like, for example, they're trying to make a way to make fake chicken and the stuff that they do to our produce, like, for somebody like me and all the rest of us out there, how do we find ways to eat and live a better, healthier life?
I love this. So I am actually a certified holistic health coach. I was trained at the Institute for Integrative Nutrition. And before that, I was already a junkie when it came to learning about all things wellness. So I am ready for this moment. All right, let's get it. So when it comes to, hey, I just want to start eating better. I want to start ingesting more things that are good for me. Congratulations. Like you've taken the huge step forward of making the decision that you're going to do something different. And it has to start with a decision because the way that these foods are engineered, they are and I said engineered because they are created to be addictive. They're created to keep you coming back because it is about making money. So the food really is drugs. So I would start not by saying that I'm going to, unless you're somebody who just is a disciplined person. If you're a disciplined person, then yes, you can come in and say cold turkey, I'm not going to do this and not going to do that. If you find yourself being somebody who generally will start something and kind of talk yourself out of it over time, like most of us, then I would not recommend that you start off out the gate saying what you're not going to eat because you'd be surprised how that stuff will creep back in. So what I would say, and what they teach us in school is something called crowding out. And that is the process of adding more good things in to the point where eventually you have developed these tastes for something that is better, and you stop craving the things that are not as good for you naturally because your body responds so well to the good stuff.
No, I say that because I'm laughing because when you say that good stuff, or we're just talking, not obviously, but just like the sugars, like me, I'm loving some Starbucks, or I like my sweets. Like, what are those things that you push into? Because we hear this and we're understanding what you're saying for somebody not as disciplined. What do you substitute those sugars, those coffees, those soft drinks? Like, what do you utilize? Because most people like myself be like, well, I just can't drink water all day. What is the other stuff? Like, what can I do?
Okay. This is tough because it really is, it's on an individual basis. So one of the concepts that I love is called biodiversity. And it means that even though a lot of the same things are good for all of us, each one of us are so different, just genetically different. Our lifestyle is different. The place where we may be living is different, what we have access to. So I'll start by saying that. So what I'm saying is not a one size fits all thing. But if I had to say, like, this would be a good place to start. You mentioned sugar, I would definitely say your beverages, if you're trying to cut back on sugar, start cutting the sugar out when it comes to your beverages. And then maybe move into your foods. You'd be surprised how many sugars we consume just from the things that we are drinking. Yeah. Not even the fun stuff like the cakes and stuff that we get to eat, you know? So if I was starting all over, I would start the same place I started the first time, which was cutting out sodas. If you're somebody who drinks sodas, even if they are diet sodas, I highly recommend that you begin to replace it. If you're not somebody that likes water, which is so weird to me.
I drink water all day. I get it.
I'm not trying to judge anybody, but when people say they don't like water, I'm like, what? But I get it. I encounter people who don't like water all the time. I'm not judging you. I'm different from you. So if you're not ready to jump straight from soda to water, start with juice. But when you choose your juice, this is your first opportunity to start choosing more thoughtfully and intentionally. So don't go straight for the Welch's. Don't go straight for the juicy juice. Don't go straight for the high C. You want to start taking this opportunity to read your labels. So when you purchase a juice, try to purchase a juice that has 1 to 2 ingredients. That is your challenge. 1 to 2, no more than 2 ingredients. Why do they need more than that? It's juice. You know what I'm saying? Or you can make the juice yourself, which is even more like delicious. I make fresh juice for myself most days. That's how I start most of my days off, with a hot tea. And then later on, I'll have do you want me to tell y'all what I eat?
Yes, we love it. Yes.
Let me walk y'all through what I eat. So I'm actually on my second weight loss journey. My first weight loss journey was after I had my second daughter. I was 249 pounds about 6 months after I gave birth. I had never seen myself that big before. And that's a lot for me. Okay. I'm 5'9.5", so I'm pretty tall. So I didn't even notice that weight creeping up on me like that. And then when I saw a picture of myself, I was like, who is that? So that was around the time that I decided to go into holistic health coaching school, and I put everything I was learning into practice, and I lost 70 pounds. Wow. So I got down to a weight that felt really good for me. I felt energized. I felt sexy. I was fitting my clothes nice. And then during, I would say probably around 2020, I started picking up that pandemic weight. So I put on about 25 of those pounds back. And now I'm on a journey just to drop that 25 and keep it off. So what I'm eating to do that, I never got back into sodas or anything. I maintained drinking water. That's how I've kept the weight off, one of the ways. I also added to that water something called chlorophyll. It is a liquid supplement that you can get in a little jar. And see, if I knew we were going to have this conversation, I would have had my supplements ready.
Well, you know how we do. I didn't know it was going this way. We all authentic. Yeah. It happens. It happens.
It's all good. So I add a few drops of chlorophyll liquid to my water, and we could get into the benefits of that later. And sometimes I will also add lime juice to my water. After I start off my day with water, my morning, the next thing I may have is a cup of hot tea. I fast in the morning. I'm somebody who's just not hungry in the morning, but if I was to be hungry in the morning, and when I lost the weight the first time, I would eat in the morning, I would have oatmeal. Oatmeal is wonderful for weight loss. That will be the meal that I ate in the morning. If you don't like oatmeal, then you can try something like chia seed pudding, but you want to focus on something that's going to be fibrous enough to make you feel full, but also get your digestive system flowing. You don't want to be stopped up. That's one of the worst things that you can do to your body, is be constipated. So focus your intention around eating on what's going to help me poop. That's the question. When you're having a meal, is anything on my plate going to help me poop? If not, let me put some on my plate. So breakfast, I don't do, but I have tea. I'll have some fresh juice, which means I'll take a whole pineapple and just chop off the, parts you can't eat, throw it in my blender. I don't use a juicer. I use a blender for my juice. I have a Vitamix that's been in my life for longer than some people.
Yes.
So I'll throw my pineapple in there, maybe some spinach, something, whatever you like. Just throw it in there. Juice fresh fruits and vegetables. Then around lunchtime, I have a big lunch. I have a big lunch around like 11:30, between 11:30 and 2, whenever I'm hungry. I go into the kitchen and make it myself. I'll just saute a ton of vegetables. So it'll be like onions, peppers, some mushrooms, some zucchini, which is my favorite this time of year. Maybe some lentils. I'll just throw it all in there, and then I'll maybe top it with an egg or two, so that it's giving me like a brunch vibe. And then on the side of that, I'll have some Ezekiel toast with almond butter and honey on top, a little sprinkle of salt, and it's delicious. So I enjoy a huge, like it's a big old bowl of vegetables that are sauteed. That's my lunch. And you got to season it up, like make it how you like it. I like spicy. I put some hot sauce on it or whatever. I have a snack between my big old lunch and dinner. And that'll be whatever I want. It might be a cookie. It might be some crackers, or it's usually something that's a store-bought or packaged item. Unless I just have something else laying around. And then for dinner, my goal for dinner is to have a super nutrient dense meal on the table for me and my family, because my kids eat a school lunch. I don't pack them lunch at this time. So I know that means they're getting a bunch of junk. It's processed food. It's a bunch of dairy. So they need a really, really nutritious dinner. So I put a lot of energy into it. It might be like some red beans and rice that I've had in the crock pot throughout the day. I'm from Louisiana, so I do a lot of Cajun food. I might make some lasagna with a whole ton of veggies. If I make spaghetti, I've chopped up 100 different types of vegetables, tiny, and I've cooked that sauce down for hours, and you can't even tell it's in there, but they're getting the nutrients from it. So that's just an example of what a day of eating might look like for me. I have a sweet tooth, like you, Billy.
Yeah.
So after dinner, I get a craving, and you know what? I indulge. I let myself have, if I want a piece of chocolate, I have a piece of chocolate. My goal with myself is not to overdo it, and also not to do it every night.
Okay. Moderation.
Yeah.
So, because basically what I'm hearing, because everybody heard the saying of shop like the outside of the grocery store, because once you start going down the aisles, that's where all the processed stuff. So you basically sound like your meals consist of, I'm shopping the outside of the grocery store, and I might dive in there in the middle just for a pack of cookies or something like that sweet. Just one or two things, not very much, but in moderation. And that's what you're using, because we hear all these different ways of, take this diet and follow this. And that thing you said, we go and we try to jump all in and we can't stick to it, versus it sounds like, based off what you're telling us your diet is, I don't even want to call it a diet. Let's just say your eating regimen, because you're basically saying, I'm going to eat like this and I'm going to consistently do it. You didn't do anything drastic and I'm just getting rid of all the meat. I'm just going vegetarian out the gate. Like,
actually, I did.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. Okay. So what I tell other people to do is not what I did. I did this for health reasons. I don't eat meat.
Oh, wow.
And I have on and off, I don't eat dairy either, but I do have dairy sometimes.
Okay.
I'm more likely to have a little dairy than I am to have meat, but my reasons for going cold turkey with it are for my health.
Okay.
So this is great. I think this is important to talk about. And thank you for letting me just go, Billy. I always feel like I can just be myself and just get it all out. I like to talk, so this is great.
We need it.
But this is really valuable, and I've been wanting to do a YouTube video about this, about why I went vegan. So let's see. The first time I went vegan, it was out of curiosity, and I was in high school, and I just wanted to try it. So it probably was like 2 or 3 months. And I thought it was cool, but my mom worked at the chicken plant, so we had a deep freezer full of chicken. So I was in there whipping up the stir fry with the chicken. So, but even then, I was always conscious about those things. I had people in my family who were very sick. And I just wanted them to learn. I wanted to learn how to live well so I could help them live well. So fast forward, I was probably, let's see, like 22, working, doing my thing, being a career girl. And I was eating very well, but I would have meat as a part of my diet once a day. Just one serving of meat, and it would be like a high quality organic type of thing. I was really into fitness. I was working out twice a day back then, Billy. It was different. She was different. She was built different.
I've been there.
You're military. So then fast forward, I started to have some health issues after my second child was born, and while I was getting prepared for my divorce, I started to notice that I was having mood swings. And I was like, okay, PMS, a little postpartum depression. I did go through postpartum depression. But I also went through some different types of trauma. And I think I talked about the abuse in my marriage and things like that on the show in the past. But I also went through different types of abuse in my youth. I didn't know this, but those things have a cumulative effect on your brain. And so what I experienced because of the high levels of cortisol and other stress hormones from enduring cycles of abuse was damage to my brain. And the way that brain damage plays out is my hormones are normal, the normal hormone change that a woman has throughout the month, but my brain processes the normal hormone change very, very harshly. And so that can result in anything from a severe period pain and cramps to cramps when I'm not on my period to feeling suicidal for days at a time and having really extreme bouts of just mood shifts. And so I was going through this, Billy, and I didn't know what was wrong with me, but I knew that I could time the symptoms. So I knew when I looked at the calendar, in 2 days, I'm going to be feeling depressed for the next 3 days.
Okay.
So let me go ahead and call my friends and let them know, check on me, make sure I'm okay, come by and see about me, because I know for these 3 days, 4 days, I'm going to be feeling some type of way. Or on these days, I'm going to be extremely hungry. So let me buy more food. I knew how it was going to go. So I finally got a great therapist, and we discovered that what I have is called premenstrual dysphoric disorder, PMDD. It's not like PMS. PMS is a hormonal imbalance. So your hormones are doing way more than they're supposed to do. And you may have mood swings, you may have hard cramps, but you're not necessarily going to have suicidal ideation. Yeah. And you might not have it's not going to feel like you're doubling over. When you have PMDD, it is a brain and mood disorder.
Okay.
So it's different. So when I discovered that that's what was going on, I said, well, I wonder if I cut out animal hormones from my diet, would that help my brain to process my hormone changes better? So the first thing I did was cut out meat and dairy, because that's nothing but animal hormones and everything that they inject in the animals.
Okay.
About 2 weeks after I cut that out, I noticed that I was feeling great. I wasn't feeling sluggish. At the height of at the height of my symptoms, Billy, I could not even carry a conversation with someone.
Wow.
You hear how you and me are talking. Imagine me not having not being able, by the time you finish what you're saying, I would have already forgotten it.
Oh, wow.
Or I'm sitting in meetings at work and I have to take profuse notes the whole time, because if I don't, I will be incompetent at my job. So I thought I was going to lose my job, my friendships, everything. I could not think. So 2 weeks after cutting those things out of my diet, I was like, well, wait, where's the brain fog? I'm laughing. I'm not supposed to be happy this time of the month. I'm supposed to be sad. So then a month later, no cramps. Everything is regulated. So I just continue to not eat meat and not eat dairy.
Oh, wow. Now,
I tried back in January of this year to bring back seafood, because like I said, I'm a Louisiana girl and I want that gumbo, you know? So try to bring back seafood. 30 days later, I had a suicidal ideation. Oh, wow. That was this January. So I know meat won't be a part and seafood won't be a part of my lifestyle until my brain is healed. So I tell people don't go cold turkey, but if you're the type of person who, if you're disciplined, like I'm a disciplined person, or if you have a health condition that you need to take very seriously, then those are the circumstances where I would say definitely do some cold turkey stuff.
Well, it's amazing you say that about the health condition thing. And this is for everybody that's listening. You were able to narrow down. You knew the days, when it was going to happen, how long it was going to happen. And it's people out there. We're out there, because I'm one of those too. I have PTSD and all that military stuff. But I know when something's going to happen. I know the things that are going to be my trigger. I just stay away from my triggers. I know certain things. And so now, as you're naming it, but I was able to name mine, PTSD, how you have yours named out. But somebody out there is dealing with certain things. And with anything in life, I tell people all the time, you can never start the healing process until you can apply a name to the thing that is breaking you.
Yeah.
So you can sit there. We hear people say, and social media, the world, the society we live in, we just hear words and we're like, that's me. I'm applying it to myself, whether it be like they say, oh, you're narcissistic, or we hear the word red flag, and we apply those words to individuals, and that individual applies it to themselves. And then what I'm hearing you're saying, like, not only do you name it, you go talk to somebody that can correctly name it for you, not social media. You get somebody that correctly name it for you. And then on top of that, we hear so many people talk about your health is wealth and all that. But you're telling me the foods and everything that you're eating also trigger the things, the emotions, whether it be suicidal ideations or those triggers. And I'm sitting here and it's just blowing my mind, because the world that we live in today, we see this is mass shootings. Now, don't get me wrong, the school shootings and everything, praying for those families, those lost loved ones, the mass shootings, the things that we're going with wars. People you just see it like, why did they randomly walk up and kill somebody? Or like, why are they doing this abusive thing? And it's like, man, have they not named it, for one? And then all the new things that we're ingesting, is it amplifying it? Because when we were growing up, those chemicals and all that weren't being processed into a lot of that food. Whereas nowadays, they just, like I said earlier, they want to make chicken. Nobody was thinking they're making chicken, or they're making lettuce, like in factories. Like, the things that we eat causes not just harm to ourselves, but it affects the relationships that we have around us. Wow.
Yes. And can I just say on that, Billy, a lot of people don't know that your gut is like a second brain, and it actually controls your brain.
Oh, wow.
So within your stomach is an area we call it your gut, but it's made up of your microbiome. And it's called a microbiome because it is the home of all types of bacteria and little cells. These cells are what send messages from your gut to your brain to tell you what to do. So like when you have cravings, you feel like you're going to just die if you don't eat that sugary thing right now. Yeah. It's because what's in your microbiome is yeast. And the yeast is saying, I'm hungry and I am going to die if I don't get the sugar I need. So if you can just wait it out, if you wait, you will starve the yeast in your gut. You won't have those cravings anymore. So it's not just that. Your microbiome informs your thoughts directly, not indirectly. Yeah. Like there's so many studies on this, and I highly encourage your audience, go to YouTube, look for TED Talks about how the microbiome informs the brain, and you will really think twice about what you give your microbiome.
Wow. It puts a whole new meaning behind that saying, listen to your gut.
Yes, exactly.
Because
you are what you eat.
You are what you eat. Listen to your gut. Like, it's amazing the things that we ingest, how it can shape and form our life. And it's funny because it kind of transitions into the next thing that I'm talking, because with everything that you do, because don't get me wrong, everybody, I actually watch Raven's TikTok videos because I love them. They're enjoyable. But for when you listen to somebody, like when we tell people all the time, your niche is you're finding your passion, your purpose and everything. Raven talking about health and wellness with the food, and like we said, listen to your gut. You are what you eat, and how those things mess with your mind and triggers, and certain things do certain things. It makes you wonder how that affects those relationships. And Raven is one of those key mentors out there as well when it comes to relationships, because you got to know how to communicate. You got to know how to talk to your partner, just how to deal with each other, to work with each other, how to compromise in certain situations. Now that we figured out what we need to eat and how we should think about processing what we eat, how does that transition over into helping our relationships, and what can we do to make better relationships?
Right. All right, you ready? You want me to? I'm gonna have to take my sweater off.
Ready.
So, how your eating affects your relationships. So, the same way that the microbiome informs your brain, more than that, the main tool that it uses to inform your brain is your hormones. Hormones dictate everything. So when you're ingesting animal proteins, animal hormones, when you're ingesting dairy, which is nothing but the hormones that a mom cow is passing to a baby cow, you are ingesting foreign hormones that are instructing your hormones on what to be. So studies have shown like that people who eat a high diet in meat tend to have a little bit more aggression than people who eat less meat. So when your partner is saying something that truly is challenging, right? I'm not going to invalidate you. We have in a healthy relationship, you got challenges.
Yeah.
So when your partner triggers you, completely healthy and normal experience, but your response to that trigger, it may not be the response that you would give if you were well, if your body was well on the inside, if you're full of mucus and you're full of, bovine hormones, then you might respond in a way that's not necessarily what you would want. Having self-control, that's another way that our eating just translates over into our relationships. If we don't have any sense of self-control or discipline about what we put in our mouth, how in the world are we going to have discipline about what comes out of our mouth?
Ooh.
Think about your mouth as what it is. It is a portal. So the things that we ingest inform the cells that make up our body. Literally, we become those things because the cells from that translates into the new cells that we create. We can only create new cells based on what we have taken in.
Okay.
So we become what we have eaten. What we have brought into our portal informs this being. And then what comes out of this portal does the same thing to the world around us.
Yeah.
What comes out of our mouth has the power to transform the things, the people, the cells that are all around us. So when we are careful and thoughtful about what goes in, I believe it makes it that much more accessible to have self-control about what comes out.
Ooh, so that's a good one, because when you control what goes in and what comes out, and then when you focus on that let's just say communication, because that portal, what comes out, what are those? Now, say I'm ingesting and I'm getting everything right. How do I work on that communication piece? Because I might ingest it, but that doesn't mean it automatically taught my brain how to communicate properly in that relationship.
Of course.
Same way you say you can't just automatically pull certain foods and go cold turkey, and you got to ease your way in. If I'm easing the way that the food goes into my portal and I'm getting on the right path, what are those steps, or what are those part of that communication that comes out of my mouth that I have to work on to be a better communicator for my partner?
Okay. So it depends on where you're starting. For me, I tend to over communicate. Okay. And I am in love with a man who tends to under communicate. So we're starting on two ends of the spectrum here. Both of us willing to learn and grow, right? So that's the first thing. Same thing with your diet. Like how I started off by saying, have you made a decision? You have to start off with a decision. So when it comes to your communication in your relationship, start by asking yourself, have I made the decision that I'm willing to do what it takes to be well and to have a healthy relationship with this person? Because having a healthy relationship with one person, you'll have to learn different things than you would with a different person. So am I willing to learn what it's going to take for this person? Have I made a decision? Once you've made the decision that I want to learn how to have a healthy relationship with this person, from there, you can determine, am I communicating too much, too little, or am I just not communicating in a way that they understand? Am I not speaking their language?
Okay.
And do they need help speaking mine? So that's where you start. Now, once you know the answer to that, I recommend doing some chakra work. Like, for example, if you are somebody who, I'll use myself, over communicating, my throat chakra tends to be overactive. And that started at a young age for me. The first time I was on your show, I shared how me being a jokester and a comedian and an actor got me out of being bullied in junior high school. So at that time, what I had was a weak and hurting and damaged root chakra. Foundational things about who I am were broken. My sense of safety and security was very weak and flimsy. And I learned to overcompensate for that damaged chakra with my throat chakra. So I had to do some chakra balancing work that is ongoing for me. As I continue to strengthen my sense of safety and security, I find that I don't need to say as much. I don't need to try to protect myself with my voice. So that was my work and my journey, but yours may be different, right? So then for my partner, if he were here, he would tell you he has maybe an underactive throat chakra at times. And that can be a point of contention as well. Why you ain't saying nothing? Know what I'm saying? So for him, maybe I'm just conjecture here. If I was to use myself and he's the opposite, let's say his root chakra was damaged in such a way that he felt that he could not use his voice or should not use his voice. And so as he continues healing, he may feel more and more empowered to speak. Okay. So the pathway for us is different. Me, I take vows of silence. Those vows of silence are healing times for me because in my silence, I can really hear myself and I can answer those questions that I need to answer for myself that are healing to that root. For him, I would not recommend that man take a vow of silence in Jesus' name. Okay. For him, maybe he might need to take 3 days where he just says whatever he's thinking, even if it's, where he said, I might say, baby, don't take it the wrong way. I'm not speaking for the next 24 hours. So let's communicate, let's cuddle. Let's, I do a little sign language. I'm still going to cook with you. We go on a date, but I just won't be speaking. I'll be listening. And he might say, babe, I don't want you to take anything I say for the next 24 hours against me. I'm just going to be practicing letting things out of my mouth. I'm going to just let it fly. And I have to prepare myself like, okay, he might say some shit I don't like. Yeah. But I want him to heal. So, even if you have to, maybe you don't need to say everything in front of the person. Go in your closet, say it, but maybe say it elsewhere if you need to, use a little tact. But I would say that's a place to start is identify where you are and try some things on the other extreme to get yourself a little more close to the middle.
I love how you said that because that's showing working together, knowing that the balances between you both in a relationship, like your strong point, your weak points, and his strong points and weak points, and how you make each other better. And then you mentioned in there about when we go to cooking or go to dating. So now we're communicating because I want people to understand communicating is just not what verbally comes out of your mouth. Communicating also involves that active listening. Communicating, as Raven just hinted at, involves that cooking together, that going out on dates. So can you elaborate on different ways that are not actually coming out of your mouth or actually having to hear things from others? Can you show other forms of communication or explain other forms of communications that's possible, like cooking, you said, with your significant other?
Yeah. Okay. This is fun. So we are also, okay, the cat is getting out of the bag right now. I'm making this announcement on your show. Ooh. My significant other and I are both certified relationship coaches now. We went through a relationship coaching certification class together, and we both have our certifications in that now. So as a part of that, we help couples with intimacy. And that's one of my favorite things. So when you talk about these different ways of communicating, what I hear you saying is, how do we foster intimacy in the relationship? Because when you're moving away from just your verbal and you're adding in these other communication styles, you're building intimacy. So intimacy consists of, according to my mentor, Dr. Kim R. Grimes, who you've also had on your show. She says hi, by the way. Fun, friendship, forgiveness, love styles, and love making. That makes up intimacy. Fun, friendship, forgiveness, love styles, and love making. So the other ways that you communicate, having fun together, like just laughing, finding something. You don't have to be talking and laughing. You're just watching a comedian and laughing, or you see something funny that a funny meme, and you share that laugh with your partner. You're fostering friendship when you do that, and fun when you do that. The next one, friendship. So intentionally doing the things that you would do with your friend and treating your partner like they are a friend. This is a cool thing that somebody I know does in their marriage that I've just always admired. They have something called BFF mode. And it's when they're really upset with each other and they feel like they can't talk to each other. What they'll do is say, let's go into BFF mode. And they'll talk to each other about each other as if they were talking to their best friend about them.
Oh, wow.
So they'll say, all right, babe, let's go into BFF mode. Let me tell you what this man did. Basically, he showed up at my house without, but you're talking to your partner, and your partner has taken off their relationship ears and put on their best friend ears.
Got it. Wow.
So that's fostering friendship in a tense moment. So fun, friendship, forgiveness. This one, I'm learning it all over again. I have been single for 5 years before this relationship. And so dating was just a matter of, oh, I don't like you, I don't talk to you anymore. Or we had a conversation that we both didn't like. Guess what? Bye. There's really no need for the forgiveness thing, in the romantic space for me for 5 years. So then when, I've made the decision to be in a committed monogamous place with this person, obviously there's going to be conflict at times, or sometimes you hurt my feelings or I hurt your feelings. And in that space, I gotta like get to a point where I want to hang out with you again.
Yeah, exactly.
So forgiveness is that ongoing like grace, understanding that you're not going to be perfect. And I've already accepted, like I've observed you enough to know these are the areas where we might rub up against each other.
Yeah.
So I'm deciding in advance that when those things happen, that I'm not going to throw you away or abandon you when that happens. I'm going to stick it out with you. I've made the decision to heal together, so it's revisiting that. And we have to make those decisions over and over and over and over every time something happens. That's the forgiveness part. So that is a type of communicating. And then love styles. So people talk a lot about like the love languages, and I think they're great, and I think that there's a lot of depth there that people don't explore. The love language that you give love in naturally may not be the same one that you receive love in naturally. So it's important to like understand that. The authors of that book also made like forgiveness styles book as well. I haven't read that one yet, but I heard it's good. So love styles, understanding what makes you feel loved, but also what am I excited to do for you and with you? When I was on the dating scene, one question that I would often ask was, what do you want to give? So if you're single, you're dating people, ask the person you're on a date with, what do you want to give in a relationship? Just what's pouring out of you, what overflows from you. And then, you can determine, is that something that I want? Do I want that? You like to give a lot of attention? I don't really like a lot of attention, if that's you.
Yeah.
So get clear on what you want to give, and then get clear on what do you love to receive. And then it kind of becomes a game. Your partner will change over time. I've changed a lot just in the last year. My love languages have changed. So there's a lot of fun in that if you have the attitude of curiosity. So then there's love making. so much fun, right? So
Yeah.
it can be, but then also it can be tough for some couples. Like, and there's nothing wrong with that. Some couples, lovemaking does not come naturally for them. And my partner and I, we love Tantra as a tool to help to just really go deep when it comes to intimacy. It's not just physical when you're connecting in this way that is spiritual and it's within yourself, and you can connect spiritually with your partner as well. So for couples that struggle when it comes to lovemaking, I definitely recommend either Tantra or, counseling or therapy, because your sexual relationship is an outer working of everything else.
Okay.
So it's your emotional, your physical, your mental, all coming together. So if there's an issue there, it's really an issue somewhere else.
Wow. It's amazing how, I don't know if everybody was paying attention. So basically what we've just talked about, Raven was able to talk about food and she was talking about relationships. And if you're listening very closely, each one intertwines with each other, just a different word for it. Like you say communication, and food you say ingesting. Like they both go hand in hand. When they say health is wealth, they're not just talking about food. They're just not talking about a relationship. When you strengthen your health, whether it be mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, you strengthen that health in yourself. That's the wealth that you're going to get out in life. Like when you eat better, you're going to live better. When you're in a better relationship, your relationship is going to grow and it's going to trickle down to everybody else. And I love how you put that. Now, I don't want to miss this one because I got so many things in my head. Before I even get to that next thing, for somebody that's like, wow, Raven is hitting us with a lot of deep facts. How can they get in touch with you so that they can explore with you more or reach out for coaching, mentoring? Like what ways can they get in touch with you?
Well, they can't. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh,
So the preferred way right now is going to be just through social media. You can definitely follow me on Instagram, Facebook. Both are at Raven Thistle. TikTok, obviously, at Raven Thistle. Or you can go to raventhistle.com and learn more about just the different types of coaching that I offer. Right now, I just took a new job about a month ago. I started in a new role. And so I'm just really getting down and dirty into that. I'm not necessarily taking on a big load of coaching clients right now. But I don't mind talking to you if you need some help. I mean, this is why I'm here on this planet. So I don't need a formal, coaching thing with anybody right now. But if you need some advice and support, you can probably find it there. Now go to my TikTok, and if you see content that, you're like, I want to learn more about that, leave a comment and I'll make more videos about it. Like I'll just keep doing that.
and that's why I asked that, because I know for me, I've learned so much just watching the TikToks. And I say that because every day we're growing. Every day we're trying to be better. Everybody wants to be better and get better in life. Like, for example, you're doing all this great stuff for people, and you just said you're taking on another role. And I say that because people think that, oh, I found this one thing, I'm not leaving it, I got to stick with it. And in life, you grow. You learn something new, you go on something new. So I say that to transition to, for first of all, congratulations on the new role. And two, for everybody that hasn't seen it, go back and watch the episode 7. That was when Raven first came on. And then you go watch episode 39, I believe. And now we're on this episode, you can see the evolution of growth. The reason I tell y'all to go watch that, because as we transition to this one, congratulations on the new job and everything. What is this new thing and new field that Raven is diving into now?
Thank you. So I'm really excited about my new job. I actually love it. I loved my old job too, my last job. So I was working diversity, equity, inclusion in HBCU spaces, mostly with professional sports. I helped to found the Doug Williams Center for the study of race and politics in sports. So I don't know if y'all know this, but I really ain't no sports junkie like that. So to be honest, I always felt like I was behind the 8 ball, even though we accomplished some amazing things with the Doug Williams Center. And when I look back, I'm just really proud of, just somebody who came in without a deep knowledge of sports. And I came out with just so much, appreciation and understanding and admiration in that space. but I wanted to transition into the tech industry
Mhm.
because I felt like if I can do the same DEI work of creating real pathways and opportunities for people to work in professional sports, I can do even more in tech because tech is just a bigger umbrella, especially when I consider the wealth gap for Black people.
Okay.
I feel like the only way to really bridge the wealth gap is to get Black people in tech jobs. So with that in mind, I was looking for opportunities and I wasn't finding any. And one day I got a LinkedIn message from a former colleague saying, hey, a friend of mine has an open position at this tech startup that I think you would be perfect for. And so the company is called Carrot. It's the world's largest interviewing company, and they specialize in interviewing software engineers, technical interviews, which I had never heard of because I ain't no software engineer. So the position was with their new initiative called Brilliant Black Minds.
Okay.
And Brilliant Black Minds is their way of using their patented interviewing cloud technology to help Black software engineers overcome hiring bias by being excellent at technical interviews. And so my job is I'm now the senior communications manager of the Brilliant Black Minds program. And so I create communication solutions for this like monster of an effort to double the number of Black software engineers in tech.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it's cool. It's fun. The people that I work with are just like smart and funny and just cool to be around. It's just a cool group of people to be a part of. The company's based in Seattle, and I get to continue working remote, which I don't like going into places at certain times and stuff. So yeah, I'm loving it.
Are they hiring?
Yes, actually, yes.
Yeah, go ahead. We're gonna have to talk out the line.
I'll send you. There's actually
I
three.
love remote.
There's 3 openings right now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'll share them with you.
Sounds like a great idea to me.
Yeah.
Because me being retired, like I'm like, I don't mind doing stuff. Like I got other stuff that I do, but it's like I get what do they call it? After retirement so long, you're like, okay, I'm bored, but I'm not bored. I got stuff I can do, but I don't really want to go out in the world and do it. Like if I can sit right here in my house and do it, it'd be great. Like, because military, you ran around the world all my career. So it's like now that I get to feel the sitting still, and God has blessed it where the retirement and everything takes care of everybody. And it's like, you don't have to go nowhere. But if you get bored, you can do something. And it's like, but if I do something, I don't want to go anywhere.
That part. I can't imagine going back to work in person. I mean, I would do it if I had to. I'm not too proud. I will go and scrub floors if I had to. I don't care. But I'm grateful that I'm able to find these opportunities that keep me, working from home, especially as a solo mom.
Yeah.
If my kids are sick, I don't have to miss work. I can take care of my kids and be present for my job.
Wow. That's amazing. I'm just so happy for you because so everybody's already know we met back in Italy, but I love when I get to watch not just people succeed, but watch the transition of greatness happening. Because we hear and we watch on social media when people pop up and we just see the great part. And it's like, well, how did you get there? What happened? Like what transitions, what phases? And they're like, oh no, I just did this. And it's like, well, there's more to it. What was that? And that's why I love having you on, because not only have I got to see it, but just from talking to you, you have talked it, especially for the third time, you're showing us this transition and you're continuing to develop and evolve and get this greatness. And I'm like, yes, this is what it looks like. So people have you as a role model, even though you might not try to be, you're a role model and inspiration for others that, like, excluding myself, that gets to watch and see your journey. And it's like, this is how it goes. And I say that because now I want to ask that question of, I ask it to everybody. What would be that thing or that nugget or that advice or that raven thing that you would tell somebody that's out there that's listening, that's watched the show and watched your journey, or that's going to go back and see your journey? What would be that thing that's inspiring, motivating, whatever it needs to be to help them get through those hurdles and around those obstacles so they can continue to succeed, what would that thing be you would tell them?
Okay. Based on my day, I'm going to base it on just my day. I would say keep saying yes to your joy. So regardless of what the issue at hand is, the question is, what's going to be the thing that gets me closer to what's going to joy, like in this situation, and don't delay it. Like, I'm not going to put it off until later. I'm not going to sulk for too long. I'm not going to, keep existing in a negative thought loop. Jump out of it as quickly as you can. Like, this is what's happening. I accept it. I acknowledge it. What's the most joyful choice I can make? Make the joyful choice. Choose your joy. Say yes, 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 yes to yourself. I recently heard that the brain is going to believe. The brain operates based on belief.
Yeah.
So it's not about what you think, really. It's about what you believe. If you believe something is not possible, your brain will not create any solutions for it.
Oh, wow.
But if you say, if you say it's possible, like, yes, we can have a country with no prisons. It's possible. Yeah. You would start thinking of ways. So apply that to everything. It's possible for me to be happy today. Even though this has happened, it is possible for me to be happy. So what would that take? It's possible for me to get a new job. It's possible for me to learn a new skill. Possible for me to find love again. Possible for me to be a good parent. Whatever it is. So when you have a negative thought, like all of us do, about yourself, your life, whatever, acknowledge it. Yeah, I could have handled that better.
Yeah.
So how can I make that joyful choice next time? Yes, it's possible for me to do it better next time. This is what I got to do.
Wow. It's like everything else you've taught us. We overthink things, because I know I do sometimes. And when you just break it down into that simpler form and try not to, as we started from the beginning, try not to just remove everything and start doing it just all at once. With the way you just broke it down, if you just take the little steps, understanding of this is all you start with, the small thing. It's possible. When you believe it's possible.
You see that?
Yes, small steps every day.
That's on my desk.
That's everything that you explained to us, all the way from eating to relationships, to just how you go about just small steps every day. Just taking the look. We hear people say it and we still overthink it. It's like climbing a ladder. It's the reason that the ladder has small steps, because if they took 3 of the ladder steps out and made you jump all the way to the 5th one, we wouldn't make it. So you have to take the small steps every day. It's so many things in life that show us to take the small steps, but our minds overthink it and we try to go big all at once. And everything you've told us tonight, when we want to be better as a person in our own life and for those around us, take those small steps every day by believing that I'm possible. It's possible. Wow. I love it. I love it. Raven, as usual, it's just amazing as usual every time you grace us. So I got to say it again on behalf of everybody. For one, congrats on the new job. That is amazing. And then on top of that, we want to say thank you for stopping by to just drop more nuggets on us to help us live a better life. We appreciate you.
Thank you for having me. I love you guys, and I would love to come back anytime. And as you can tell, I got lots of stuff I want to share. So catch me on TikTok.
Don't worry. We will be bringing you back. You just hang on. Stay with me because I want to talk to you right after the show. But again, thank you. And we appreciate you. And we will see you, Raven, on the other side. Man, I hope y'all got something out of that, because I know I did. I've already tried. I've started really my eating better, living better, being a better husband, a better father. But those tips that Raven just gave, it's just icing on the cake to keep doing a little bit more to be a better person every single day. All you have to do is remember, try to do more and be better than you were yesterday. Man, it was amazing. I loved it. I can't wait to have Raven back on, because, again, we're going to pick her brain every time she comes on so she can keep dropping us nuggets. Again, I thank you for tuning in. Can't wait to see you next week. We got an amazing guest, and it's the same time every Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, and we look forward to having you. But until then, we're going to miss you. I can't wait to talk to you soon. And remember to every day live in your purpose, with purpose, on purpose. Thanks for tuning in. See you next week.
Hi, my name is Billy Graham Jr.
Growing up, everybody thought I was going to be an actor. They're like, you're funny, you should go be an actor. I was like, I can't be an actor, can't you see? What is my purpose? If you're like me, I lost my purpose. I didn't know who I was. I let society put me in a box. I don't want you to be in the box anymore. Because you and you only are the one carbon copy. There is no other you. So how can you be in a box if it's only one you? So you need to steal your power back. Because we gave it to somebody. I want you to say, steal your power back. Steal your power back.
Mr. Graham said, I am an original, I'm not a photocopy.
You are where it begins. It begins with you and only you. You are the director. You are the author of this book. Nobody should be writing your life story. You are the winner. See, a lot of us, we get caught up in wondering when we're supposed to do something, why we're supposed to do something, where we're supposed to begin. But I'm telling you, you are the author of your book, and that's all that matters.
My time here in Kenya has been amazing. Everybody has welcomed us with open arms ever since we landed. Nothing but hospitality, nothing but family. We felt like we were home.